Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. It's the Sydney Derby. Sydney FC West Sydney Wanderers for the third time this season. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football, and you are watching a live watch along where we are here to react live to what I'm sure is going to be an absolutely epic encounter. Already seeing a number of predictions in the chat, which is great to see. Give me a comment in the chat. Let me know you're watching, and we are set for an exciting game. Not too long till kickoff, about 15 minutes ish. But I'm going to jump into these predictions already as you guys jump into the chat here. We've got already Wanderers will win 2-0. That's from Falcon. Look, Wanderers heading into this game obviously higher up on the table, but only by a handful of points. A win here for Sydney FC could bring them closer. The Rayside in the chat says a draw would be great. I hate both teams. Another Wanderers win prediction. It was really mixed as well. Like I did a few polls across YouTube and I did one on Instagram as well, and it was really sort of quite mixed. It wasn't a clear favorite, which is exciting, which is what we want, right? Barry in the chat says 2-2, which is what I'm leaning towards. I'm definitely leaning towards a draw. That is for sure. That is for sure. Red Cars 1-1 says conscript, which look, the way this A-League season's going, you know, you're never surprised to see a couple of red cards dished out each game, eh? But give me a wave in the chat. Give me a hello. Let me know if you can hear and see me loud and clear. And I hope you guys are as excited for this game as I am. Elite Falcon as well says the same thing. I think it certainly does have draw written all over it. But West Sydney Wanderers will win, hopefully, says Falcon. And look, this could be a really big match in the context of both of these teams' seasons. More so Sydney FC. This is a big one for this is a big game for Sydney FC. This is they lost last week against Wellington. For the last month or two, they've been looking pretty good. They won the last Sydney derby. Max Burgess scoring the winning goal in that game. And a win for them would really concrete them in the top six, and catch them up with the likes of Wellington and Mariners and all that. Crystal Clear says conscript, great, good to hear. Got a nice little new setup here as well. We're on a couch. Not usually on a couch. If you tune into a Coastwatch Football watch along in the past, we're usually at a desk, but we're trying something different. The main reason is because I've now got a couch and a TV, and I figured this is probably, I'm assuming, the way most people watch their football. And this is going to be exciting, man. I'm keen for these couch watch-alongs. It's going to be a good vibe about them, kicking back. Yeah, exactly. This comment deserves to be on the screen. Con saying Coastwatch couch. This is officially, thanks to Cons, has been coined the Coastwatch couch. So here we go. We're going to do another intro again. Hey guys, my name's Lockie and welcome to the Coastwatch couch. This is Coastwatch Football coming to you live from the Coastwatch couch for the Sydney Derby live watch along, which is going to kick off in about 13 minutes. Exciting. Lineups. Let's talk lineups. Relatively strong. Obviously, both teams missing some key personnel, but overall, it's a spicy lineup. Couple things that I want to talk about for the Wanderers lineup, which was a little bit eyebrow raising. A couple changes for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Of course, the big one, they're missing Tommy Michella, who up until his red card last week away to Perth, played every minute this season. And got sent off. So that's a massive loss because he's been arguably the best centre back in the league this season in the competition. So look, massive loss for Western Sydney Wanderers in that department. But when you look at Sydney FC's lineup, I mean, they've got Colbayo. Looks like he'll be lining up on the wing again with Joel King at left back. Of course, still no Adam Lafondra. Robbie Mack through the middle. Joe Lolly, who's probably Sydney FC's most dangerous player, coming off the right-hand side. No Max Burgess in the starting lineup or on the bench for Sydney FC, which, of course, is a blow for the Sky Blues because he was the match winner and he has been in good form this season as well. Oh, what is going on? Falcons says my mate is lucky enough to be at this derby. Look, we're hoping it's going to be a bumper crowd. Could be, we'd love to see it pushing 40,000. What was the attendance for the first Sydney derby at Allianz Stadium? I can't quite recall. It was in the 30s, right? It was 30-something thousand. 30-something. But in the chat, how's it going, mate? Says Marcelo would still be in Europe if he kept it in. Marcelo, man, again, speaking of top-class centre-backs, Marcelo's been fantastic as well. Absolutely fantastic. Guys, watch couch. Let's get back to these lineups though. What I did want to talk about for West City Wanderers, Cassini Yengi, who has had a pretty quiet season, to be fair. Injury hasn't helped him. But he obviously scored. He obviously scored the only goal in the first Sydney derby of the season at this stadium. I almost think that Rodan has put him into the lineup just for that reason. You know, that he's a big time player. He's the kind of player that could step up and score a winning goal in a game, which could be a really tight one, like this one might be. Yeah, man, Cassini Yangi. What do you guys make of that? It means that Mbakoto starts on the bench, which is a bit of a big call because Mbakoto has had a really good season for Wanderers. Layuni, of course. Borello starts for the Wanderers. Milos Ninkovic starts ahead of Oli Bozanic, which was another interesting call. Again, maybe, you know, Rudan intentionally doing that just because of the spice of the derby, throwing Milos Ninkovic in there. Callum Neuenhoff has been fantastic. Of course, the former Sydney FC player coming up against his former side. Thomas Beedling coming into the centre of defence to replace Machella. And Aiden Simmons jumping into right back, which was a big call as well. We saw, I think it was Amalfitano played there last week, right? Amalfitano played right back last week, which was interesting. And I think it worked. I mean, Amalfitano is a very versatile player. He's played several positions already this season. But yeah, man, of course, no Gabby Klur still. Oh, my goodness. Of course, we've had some exciting results across the A-League this weekend already. Jets 2, Perth Glory 2, late equaliser from Ryan Williams, saving a point for Perth Glory just about half an hour ago. That game finished. And then Brisbane defeating champions West United at home, which means Nick Green has a 100% record at home. Back-to-back wins for Nick Green, Brisbane Roar. And then the Friday night, as Butter is mentioning here, speaking of Zawada, of course, his Phoenix side lost 5-1. Adelaide winning 5-1 over Wellington Phoenix. Butter says Zawada would have made the difference last night. And I reckon it would have been a draw if he wasn't on baby watch. Is that right? Was he on? I didn't even know. Of course, Zawada didn't travel to South Australia for last night's game. Big loss. And not because he's not because obviously he's been like one of the best strikers in the competition this season, but it just changed the dynamic for Wellington up front, I thought, last night. You know, the two strikers were David Ball and Costa Barbarouses, who are great players in their own right. Like, don't get me wrong. But yeah, man, it was a different vibe. There wasn't that focal point. We love that term, don't we? Focal point. Barry's in here. It's good to see the stream back. Good to see you in, Barry. Good to see you in here, Barry. Appreciate you tuning in. Give me a hey in the chat if you're watching. Drop a like on the live stream. Kickoff is not far away at all. 8 minutes. Sydney Derby, Sydney FC, West Sydney Wanderers. Have we got any hot takes for these lineups? Who's going to be the hero? This is a game for someone like Joe Lolly to step up in. You know, no Max Burgess. Joe Lolly, no stranger to the big occasion. Keep your eye on someone like Layuni, who has been fantastic since arriving at West Sydney Wanderers a couple months ago. Layuni. Mr. Wolf says Newcastle were robbed. Dude, Newcastle, I mean, just the set piece defending. I mean, 2 goals from set pieces, right? 2 goals from set pieces. What can you say? It's let Newcastle, the defending ones. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing for Newcastle every single season, where they look good in attack. You know, Mikkel Detzi's still there, but the defense just consistently lets them down. And it's like, when are the Jets going to sort this out? I mean, conceding 4 to Adelaide last week at home, conceding 2 set piece goals, which were really similar. They're like, acute angles, the headers. Man, Jets fans must be spewing. Must be spewing. Ooh, hot take from Butter. I reckon there'll be an own goal. That's a very specific prediction. Let's see. Ooh, person. Let's talk about it. Thoughts on Robertson call up to Socceroos? Going to be doing a bit of Socceroos content next week. Keep an eye on the channel. Alexander Robertson called up to the Socceroos. An exciting one. I'm really excited about it. He's a player who's played for England at youth level, under 21s, I believe. And for those that don't know, he's involved at Manchester City. Was on the bench, I think, for a Carabao Cup game against Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's played in a couple friendlies for Manchester City as well, the first team. Exciting, man. And just like from what we hear, like I haven't seen much of him, obviously, play. But from what we hear, it's a really great acquisition for Robertson to be called up for Australia, for him to pick Australia, I'm really excited. And hoping that he gets some decent game time in these friendlies. There's a lot of players in that Socceroos squad, Jordy Boss, Borello. Of course, we've seen him play for the Green and Gold in the past. Aidan O'Neill, maybe to get a run in the starting lineup as well. So, yeah, man. The Ray side coming in with sticking on the Socceroos theme. Thoughts on the Borello call-up? Fantastic, well-deserved. He's had a superb season, and it makes sense. I mean, if I wonder, like, if Matt Leckie wasn't injured, whether he would have still been selected. Because I'm not sure how else Borello would have fit in there. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Leckie injured, Borello straight in. They're sort of similar players. Versatile attacking players. So yeah, man. Jacko's in the chat. CCMCs and Jacko's here. How's it going, mate? Person says, is Rodwell fit for the game? Rodwell is on the bench. He's on the bench. I believe he came off the bench last week against Wellington. Where's my water, bro? Oh, it's down here. Let's get the water. All right. Only a few minutes until kickoff. 4 minutes to be precise. In the chat right now, I want you to drop in the chat. What is your Sydney Derby beverage or meal of choice tonight? We've had some really bizarre ones last time. Our last watch along we did was the Melbourne Derby a few weeks ago. Had some really curious things in the chat. So let me know, what's your meal? What are you downing right now as we watch the Sydney Derby? As both teams coming out of the tunnel. Sydney FC, West Sydney Wanderers in front of a packed Allianz Stadium. Carl's in the chat. Hello, Carl. How's it going? Hi to you too, Carl. Thoughts on the second division coming in next season? Love it. Great. Of course. I think it's great. I mean, I don't think anyone's saying anything bad about it. Pyrotechnics. Everything going on at Allianz Stadium. Look at those fans, man. RBB bouncing. The Cove. What does that banner say? Our city and our colours. Defend our city and our colours. How about that from Sydney FC, man? Love this too because the actor support's just they're just a fantastic spectacle in these derby games. We've got some meals coming in. Chicken pasta, love it. CCM season. Score prediction 3-2 Sydney FC. Borello to score 2. I could definitely see that happening. Jack Rodwell on the bench for Sydney FC alongside Patrick Wood. Segicic, who's coming off a decent under-20s Asian Cup campaign. Jaden Kacharski on the bench as well. Had a decent impact away at Wellington last week. Barry with an interesting one. Thoughts on the crowd numbers this season? Look, I mean, obviously we want better, right? Like, I don't have much to say about it because it's just the same old story. I mean, like, they're obviously not great, but it's like, it's almost like, what can we do? I feel like for the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years, it's just the same conversation. It's like crowd numbers, they're not great, and just You know, the derbies obviously are big highlights because you see like, 20, 30,000 fans and it's like, oh, it's awesome. You know, you go from watching, no disrespect at all, but like, Brisbane versus West United in front of, I don't know how many fans were there, 3,000 fans at Redcliffe. And now we're watching, 30,000 plus fans at Allianz Stadium for the Sydney Derby. So those are great numbers. Hopefully we see it improve. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Butter, of course. A-League expansion happened in Canberra and Auckland to join the league. For those who haven't seen the video, check it out. My video reacting to the news on the channel. Hypothetically, you've been given the task to name the Auckland team. What do you call it? Try to keep it so it starts with K. Like the previous Auckland teams started with K. Of course, New Zealand Knights. Butter is referring to their K. Well, all I'll say is like someone mentioned in the comments of my video talking about the expansion news, someone mentioned, something about Auckland City, and I looked them up. And I was like, oh yeah, apparently they're like the biggest team aside from Wellington Phoenix in New Zealand, and that would be cool. And they've got cool colors and everything, sort of like a navy blue thing. So yeah, I reckon Auckland City. I don't know about the K thing. I mean, Auckland Knights. I don't mind that. It sounds all right. But yeah, man. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Sydney Derby time, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to kick off. Look at these fans, man. Epic. Love it. Give me a hello in the chat. Give me a like on the live stream if you're watching and here for the long run, man. Here we go. Ninkovic to kick off in the middle of the park. Borello looking ready for this one. Luke Bratton with his shaved head. Beautiful bald head of Luke Bratton. And we have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. Sydney FC, West Sydney Wanderers. All right, here we go. This is it, man. This is it. Huge game. We love these games, man. Hey, what's going on, man? Homie. Dude, welcome to the couch stream, man. The Coast Watch Couch, which Cons called it earlier. Oh, interesting one from Mr. Saints fan. Don't think Tassie deserve an A-League team because they'll get low crowd numbers. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're a passionate fan base down there in Tasmania. Yeah, man. It's been a hot minute. Hyped for this one. I am indeed too, man. I'm very much hyped. I've been well, man. As Cassini Youngie comes into contact with Redmayne early on here. That's why he's been brought in, Cassini Youngie. He gets himself in it. All right. Just a little bump there from Youngie on Redmayne. Little bump. Ninkovic. Wanderers pushing early here. Well, that's going to be a corner. Less than 90 seconds into this game, and Wanderers have a corner. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Oh, interesting stat on the broadcast. West Sydney Wanderers only team yet to score a goal from a corner. Did not know that. Did not know that. Amalfitano to take the Frenchman. Decent delivery. Near post. Liuni still there. Amalfitano to hit. Oh, chance! Yengi. What happened there? It's a goal kick. Cassini Yengi with a great chance. Well, a bizarre opportunity for Wanderers, and the Wanderers players are complaining to the ref for a handball, maybe? What happened there? So Amalfitano with a strike. Yengi's offside. Just. Oh, actually, it's close, actually. Fluffed his lines. Cassini Yengi maybe hasn't had his the most ideal first season at Wanderers. Scored one of the biggest goals of the season in the first derby, though. Xander, hope your knee's doing all right, man. Finally had knee surgery. Returned to Wollongong for training a couple of months. All the best for that, man. Hope you can jump back into training soon enough. Western Sydney on the front foot early in this game. Ninkovic already seeing a lot of the ball. Okay. Sydney FC yet to really get the foot on the ball. And we're over 4 minutes into the game. Barry in the chat says almost a 2K subs. Hope you get this soon. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it, man. I see you in the chat quite often. I appreciate it. Xander, Sydney FC fans says love and hate relationship all the time for Ninko. Yeah, obviously achieved so much at the Sky Blues. Now playing with the red and black. Fantastic player. Fantastic player, regardless of what you think of him or who he plays for. Ooh, Bratton. Heavy landing. Is he still down? They're going to stop play here because Bratton's does not look in a good way. Here's a replay. Went up for it. Just got knocked off. Oh, fell right on his hip. Just a little bump from Amalfitano. Right when Bratton was in midair. And Bratton does not look very comfortable. Damn, man. He did indeed, Xander. He felt really awkward there. We hope he's all right. Key player for Sydney FC. Sam says, super excited that Auckland are getting a team. Didn't think that would happen this soon. I agree. I didn't think it would happen this quickly. But looks like it's on the way. Looks like it's on the way. CCM season. Locking my coach is Josh Ong from the Central Coast Mariners NPL team. He was at my he wasn't at training. But I was told he was talking to an agent, so I think Auckland or Canberra are recruiting. Josh Ong. Fantastic player. Bit of blood coming from the mouth of Luke Bratton. Man. Well, thankfully he's up and walking all right. Because that was a heavy fall. Looks like he's going to continue. But it says Coast Watch quality. Better than Paramount quality. I'm actually watching on 10 play, this one. And it looks okay. It's great. No issues for me. Adrian's in the chat. Hey, mate, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Welcome to the couch stream. Hope you're doing well too, Adrian. Thanks for jumping in. Hope you're enjoying this derby game so far. It's been pretty much all Wanderers so far, at least in terms of possession. Sydney just seem content, just sit back and chill. You can see when Wanderers have the ball here, the back line, as they're just passing around the back. Sydney setting up in sort of like a 4-4-2 sort of setup. It's Lolly and Caceres. Sorry, that's Mac and Caceres through the middle. Ooh, long ball over the top. Surely Barella's offside. Barello coming up against his Socceroos teammate in Andrew Redmayne. Barry says both of their cheer squads are going crazy. It's great to see, man. Plenty of noise and color in the stands. It's great. It's awesome. Big call. I mean, big question from Sam. Like, who's your tip to win it all? Mine is Adelaide. They'll finally break through, and that Cooper's crowd will lift them. The way Adelaide are playing now, the most informed team in the competition. They've been fantastic. The win against Melbourne City was a big one, and it was the one that really sort of caught everyone's eyes, I think, because they could do it. The way they're playing, they've got some fantastic players. They've got the best player in the competition, in my opinion, in Craig Goodwin. They've got the best youngster in the competition at the moment in Nestor Irankunda. They're a great side, and at home, they're unstoppable at the moment, Adelaide United. So can they win it? Yeah, absolutely. It could well be them and Melbourne City at the end. I'd love for Mariners to get there. And look, Mariners are absolutely still in it. But at the moment, City and Adelaide are the two best teams in the competition. Just over 10 minutes into this derby game. Yengi with space on the left. Inside the box. Shot. Sydney deal with it. Western Sydney Wanderers. Oh, that's a dangerous challenge from Beadling. It's going to be a yellow card on Beadling. Retro's not happy, and there's already a bit of coming together here. Here we go. Yellow card for Retro. Why is he given a yellow? Well, already a little bit of spice in this derby. 10 minutes in. The challenge on Mac from Beadling certainly deserved a yellow card. I'm unsure as to why Retro got a yellow card for not really doing much at all, aside from just running in and having a bit of a word to an opposition player. That's a dangerous tackle from Beadling into the back of Mac. Certainly a yellow card. Damn. How long do you think Aaron Kunda should stay in the A-League? How long do I think he should stay? It'd be great to see him stay another season, like a season after this one, but I think he'll go. I think he'll go in the off-season. I think Aaron Kunda's gone for sure. He's just got a ridiculous amount of potential. I mean, he's so young, and you're just seeing his attributes on show week in, week out. I think he'll go. Similar thing with Geordie Boss. I think it looks like Geordie Boss is going to go in the off-season too. Is Costa Barbarouses the most overrated player in the A-League, says Sam. Ask Sam. We're going to come back to that because there's a chance here for Wanderers. Layuna. Yengi. Cassini Yengi scores in the derby again. It's 1-0. He's taking his shirt off. Oh, scenes. Cassini Yengi scores the first goal of the derby. He does it again. He only shows up in the big games. Oh, Layuni teeing it up. There's an appeal for offside, but it was Borello. What a pass from Borello. Was Layuni offside? Oh, what a goal. What a goal. John in the chat, how's it going? Says, love the celebration. Jersey straight off. Shows it to the Cove. Oh, my goodness. Goal indeed. Goal indeed. Cassini Yengi, second goal of the season. The first one was in the exact same game. Sydney David Allianz Stadium earlier on in the season. He lives through the big games, Cassini Yengi. And he's the kind of player who loves celebrating in front of opposition fans. Think back to when Adelaide played Melbourne Victory couple seasons ago. Cheers for Sydney over the bar from Mac. Gee whiz. My goodness, man. This has been a hectic derby already. Oh, Sydney's really first real chance of the game. First chance getting forward there. So it's Sydney FC 0. Western Sydney Wanderers 1. It's Cassini Yengi again. Now Sydney FC. Foul Mac on Beadling. Getting his revenge. Of course, Beadling fouling Mac not too long ago. Long ball again. It's not a bad idea, actually. Trying to get Borello to use his pace to break past Donachie and Wilkinson, who aren't the fastest of central defenders. Borello has pace to burn. All right. Wanderers getting the team behind the ball. And they've kicked the ball out of play. Is someone down? Is it Donachie? It is Donachie. James Donachie's hurt. Xander, you too, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Written in the chat says, wow, the Sydney FC defenders dropping like flies already. James Donachie hurt after, was it from that bump from Borello just a moment ago? Looked pretty innocuous as they show the replay of the goal. Fantastic, man. Borello, what a ball. We'd love to see something similar in the Socceroos games coming up next week, next Friday, and the following Tuesday against Ecuador Socceroos. Keep an eye on the channel for some Socceroos content next week. Woo! I like this one person in the chat says, lol, scenes if Rodwell scores. Scenes if Rodwell plays, right? Dude, oh, he's coming on. He's coming on. I literally say Rodwell, and he's coming on with the, what do you call those, cornrows? James Donachie's off. James Donachie's off. Jack Rodwell's on. We literally speak about him, and he's been summoned to the field. And there's some confusion with the substitution. They're trying to get him on the field. If you enjoyed the stream so far, make sure you hit the like button. Appreciate it a lot. Only 17 minutes in, so much still to happen. Cassini Yengi, he's already scored for the Wanderers, and now a substitution. Early substitution, Rodwell in, playing against his former side. As James Donachie gets a massive ice pack strapped to his left hamstring. Rodwell. Borello. Won't get to that. My stream here for the broadcast at 18 minutes exactly right now. 18 minutes. Sydney FC need to get the foot on the ball. Need to control some possession. It's literally, as soon as I say that, Rodwell just launches it. Gives it away. Diego Caballo hasn't even touched the ball. Here he is. Playing left wing for Sydney FC tonight. I'll answer this one now. William, it's a good question because not related to this game, but how do you think Monty will line up tomorrow? Central Coast Mariners taking on Melbourne Victory tomorrow afternoon. I mean, all three straight back into the lineup for me. Centre backs, Caltac and Triantis for sure. And I think Maresh to start up alongside Cummings. Tulio moved out to the wing with Benny still suspended, which means Thea Harris to drop to the bench. But yeah, I think that'll be the lineup. I think Tulio on the wing with Maresh and Cummings starting up top. That would be my ideal lineup anyway for the Mariners tomorrow. Which we'll see there. We'll see. I mean, Dan Hall might keep his place in defence. He's been decent. My broadcast, 10-play broadcast now at 20 minutes exactly. 20 minutes exactly right now. Sydney 0, Wanderers 1. Sam, it's a good question. Who gets 6th? Honestly, seems like whoever gets it will scrape in. Whoever gets in will deserve it. All the teams in the chasing pack have played well through parts of the season. Who will get it? It's a great question. Who will get it? I think, oh man, like I want to say Perth, but they keep losing away games. Chancey for Wanderers, Liuni. 2-0. It's Liuni. Wanderers are up 2-0. Oh my goodness. They've been breached again. The Sydney FC defense and Liuni scores. Wow. Wanderers up 2-0. Oh, just sloppy in midfield. Yangi plays it forward. How about this pass from Ninkovic? Perfect. Milos Ninkovic. This Wanderers attack is looking dangerous, man. What a pass. Ninkovic. It's wild indeed. It's wild. Amor Liuni. What an addition he's been to the A-League and to the Wanderers. Yengi, Liuni, the two wingers on the score sheet. Just his second goal in the A-League, Amor Liuni. Scored in his debut away to Adelaide a few weeks ago. $2-0. Work for Steve Corica and Sydney FC. This is a big game for Sydney. They don't want to slip down the ladder. Missing out on finals this season would surely mean the end of Steve Corica's Sydney FC career, you'd think. You would assume so. Sydney FC missed out on finals last time. Your other guy is getting forward. Ryan Grant might shoot here. He's going to cross. That's a poor cross. Red Trader, Regather. Grand for Lolly. Need to get Joe Lolly on the ball here more, Sydney FC. Decent ball. Caballo's header. Can't get onto it. Wanderers deal with it. Oh, it's a decent ball. Is Mac offside? Play on. Ooh, can't keep the ball in. Sydney FC's attack breaks down. West Sydney FC 0. West Sydney Wanderers 2. Steve Corica on the sideline looks a little stressed. Two quite similar goals for the Wanderers too. Just breaking in behind the defense. Two fantastic passes. It's been awesome. Indeed, LaFondra is injured. Injured, yes. Thoughts on Robertson, the Manchester City kid who got played at youth levels for England, will be there for the Socceroos. We actually just talked about it just before. Fantastic selection. Really excited to see how he goes for the Socceroos. From what we've heard, he sounds like he's going to be an exceptional player. So we'd love to see him. I hope he gets some decent minutes in these friendlies next week. Fingers crossed. Sydney FC getting forward through Mac. Breaks down again. Great work, Neonhoff. Here comes Borello. Look at it. Look at the pace. Borello taking on Grant. Brandon Borello, just so much energy every single game, week in, week out. He's earned his call up to the Socceroos, that's for sure. Shot stats on the broadcast: 2 for Sydney, 5 for Wanderers. Sydney just haven't really been able to break into the final third. Might do so now. Joe Lolly, pass, decent. Caceres. Wanderers deal with it. Wanderers best defense in the league, of course. Should is a worthy point to raise. Best defense in the league. Of course, without their rock at the back, Michela. But Marcelo Beedling doing well at the moment. The whole team. I mean, like, as a team, they defend really well. Neuenhoff is key as well in defensive midfield. Absolutely key. No Schneiderlin, of course, in this game. Should be mentioned. Thank you for reminding me, Butter. We were talking about Barbarouses earlier. I don't know if he's the most overrated player in the league, but he probably hasn't had the best of seasons at Wellington so far, has he? Maybe not up to his standards. I mean, he's had some fantastic seasons in the past at Sydney, at Victory. I don't know if he's the most overrated player in the league, but he's certainly underperforming at the moment. Score prediction now, as it stands. Let's go 3-1 Wanderers. 3-1 Wanderers. I reckon Sydney will snatch one more back, and then Wanderers to score late, a third. 3-1 Wanderers, calling it. It's been a great start for West Sydney. Great start. Sydney FC 0, West Sydney Wanderers 2. Goals to Yangi and Layuni for the red and black. Sydney just edging it in possession. Wanderers have been much more effective with it, though. It's just that front three is so dangerous. When you look at that Wanderers front three, man, I mean, Layuni, Borello, Yangi, so much pace. Terrifying amount of pace. And now it's a matter of The narrative now for this game is a matter of whether Sydney FC can break down this defense. What are they going to do? It's a long ball this time for Mac. Doesn't find him. Lockie in the chat says, Lockie. Hey, Lockie, how's it going? Lockie Edit says, Lockie, can you please do more live streams? I missed them. More live streams are coming, man. We took a little bit of a break for a while through the end of last year, but we are back. So yes, for sure. Make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date with it. As Sydney FC try to break through again. Adama Traore, fantastic in defense. Keep an eye out for some Socceroos content next week as well. That'll be fun. Wanderers happy just to control things now. Third goal in this first half would be huge for Wanderers and would be mountain to climb. That's a great move from Leone. He's gotten past King with ease. Just didn't have the final product. But that was beautiful from Leone. Too easy. Too easy. Getting around Joel King. Sydney FC defense just has to be a bit more wary of these Wanderers attacks. They seem to be getting in behind them a bit too easily. Just the pace that he has too, Leone. Fantastic. Just past the half an hour mark. 15 minutes left in this half for Sydney to get their way back into the game. It doesn't look likely at this stage, though. It's a good question from Pumpkin. Where will another derby loss leave Sydney FC in the Corica hokey pokey dance? Is he in or is he out? I think if they lose this derby, he's not out. If they miss out in finals this season, he's out. It'll be really disappointing. But look, this is the best Wanderers side we've seen in the last 7 or 8 years. So look, if he loses it, I don't think it's an absolute disaster. But yeah, that's the simple thing for me. I think Sydney FC missed out in finals. They missed out last year. I thought Corica should have gone. He didn't. They stuck with him. Sydney FC missed out in finals again this year, which I don't think they will. I think they will be playing finals. I think they'll finish at 5th or 6th. Then yeah, I think if they miss out, Corica's out. Thoughts on the Mariners this season? Overall, another really positive season for the Mariners. Great to see so many young guys getting a run. Hopefully a strong finish to the end of the season for the Central Coast too. Just because in the last month or so, it's been a little bit inconsistent. Not as many home games of late, of course, as well. So hopefully Mariners can finish strong here. The game just chilling down now a little bit. Sydney FC still finding a way to break past this Wanderers defense. And when I say defense, I mean the whole team because it's just a block. They're just going to be... Here we go. A little bit of space for Caballo on the left. What can they do here, Sydney? Mac. Caceres. Mac. There's just too many red and black shirts around the ball. I mean, you look at, oh, here we go. It's a decent little pass chance. Well, that was okay. Grant with the strike. See, that was good. That was all right. Mac with the little back heel. And they managed to get a cross in. Interesting. Look, yeah, what's the score prediction for Melbourne Victory Mariners? Well, Mariners never win in Victoria. So, yes, Melbourne Victory have been struggling big time. I think Mariners have to win, right? Mariners have to win. It's got to be a Mariners win. I'm going to say 2-1 Mariners. 2-1 Mariners tomorrow. That's a fair call, isn't it? And it's a big question here from JN. What is that? JNSHDE. Am I reading that correctly? Do you think Poppy will be sacked by next season? Great question. Oh man, I don't think so. A lot of Melbourne Victory fans. I'd love to hear. I mean, Lockie's a Melbourne Victory fan. I'd love to hear what Melbourne Victory fans think. I don't think so. He's still a fantastic coach. I think this season is just a write-off for Melbourne Victory. Things just have not gone their way. Maybe reshuffle the squad a little bit, freshen it up. Because last year they were fantastic. Like I think Victory fans shouldn't forget. I mean, they won the cup last year, one game away from the grand final. Popovich is still a good coach. If he does get sacked, it wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think it would be the right call. Popper's the kind of guy who would bounce back. He wouldn't let his team fail 2 seasons in a row. Set piece, good. Chance for Sydney FC. Lawrence Thomas with a save. Best chance of the game so far for Sydney was it Jack Rodwell. Getting himself on the end of it. Dude. Jack Rodwell almost. Corner here for Sydney. Headed away by Marcelo. Sky Blues. Would love a goal here. They're getting closer. Slowly, they're getting closer. Sydney keeping numbers forward here. Jack Rodwell stayed forward. Mac, nice. Decent pass. It's out for Caceres on the right. Grant delivers. Rodwell. Not enough power on the header. Well, a little bit better from Sydney. A little bit better. Winning those set pieces, getting themselves in there. Good to see. What else are we seeing in the chat here? Bunter says Uffy is off contract at the end of the season. Where do you see him next season? Sticking at Wellington. Probably sticking at Wellington. He's doing a good job there. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if a bigger club picks him up, though. Like a Melbourne Victory. Lockie says Popper can't get sacked. Full of experience and just a one-off season. He's also got a year left on his contract. There you go. Yep. Yeah. Even if they pick up the wooden spoon, I think they got to stick with him. Popper won't let his team fail 2 seasons in a row. It's as simple as that for me. Con says Yengi's got to be careful. Already on a yellow with those kind of challenges. That's a good point. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a red card. We always see him in derbies, eh? Sydney down the left. Plenty of Wanderers jerseys in the way. But Sydney FC getting better field position now too. Really pushing Wanderers back. Cross. It's going to be a throw. Okay. So we've got about 8 or so minutes left in this half. And it's now a matter of whether Sydney can get a goal back before half-time. They're slowly getting closer. Caballo on his weak foot. Cross is blocked. Wanderers, even though Sydney are dominating possession now, Wanderers seem pretty cool with this. I mean, they're 2 goals up. They've got a very solid shape. They've got a lot of confidence. That's what you notice about West Sydney Wanderers. They play with a lot of confidence, and the connection between the players seems to be very strong. Interesting. I haven't heard anything on that. One of Melbourne Victory's monitor said the A-League should remove. Oh, sorry, should remove the salary cap. I thought you said will remove the salary cap. I mean, yes. I feel like we all want this. To be honest, I don't think it's I don't think it's a black and white. Like if we get rid of it, it's going to make the A-League more appealing. To me, it's not as straightforward as that. But look, I mean, I'm no expert when it comes to sort of salary cap and players' wages and all that sort of stuff. I'm also focused on the actual football. But look, if it's going to be better for the league, then let's go for it. It probably will happen eventually. Yeah. But I don't think the salary cap, I mean, to me at least, from what I see, the salary cap doesn't seem to be as evil as everyone makes it out to be. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think people, I don't know. People like to freak out about these things. Oh, salary cap is killing the game. Like, is it? Delivery. Sydney FC whipping in the crosses now. Another one from Caballo. Dude, Wanderers are getting on the end of all of these crosses right now. Mac, nice move. Chance. Volley. Good challenge. Amalfitano. Great challenge. 5 or so minutes left in the first half. Already a yellow card for Yangi after he took a shirt off celebrating the first goal. Amalfitano is just going down, holding his ankle. He's had a great season, Amalfitano. One of the more underrated players in the league. Some of his teammates have stole the spotlight. But Romain Amalfitano is an incredibly hard-working player. This is actually true. Joe Lolly always looks like he's in pain. He was just on. Actually, those are just a close-up of him just before on screen, and yeah, I know what you mean. He looks like he's always wincing. Oh boy. Do you know why Schneiderlin isn't playing? Got him in my fantasy team, says John. I haven't heard. I assume he's injured. Wanderers trying to get him behind again here. This time it gets cut off. Neuenhoff with a strike. Borello trying to get onto it. Sydney do not want to concede a third goal here. That would be a disaster. This is Ninkovic. Man, these little combinations from these Wanderers players. Oh, great challenge, Borello. Great save, Redmayne. Wanderers are pouncing on these tiny mistakes. Pouncing big time. Great work, Neuenhoff. Borello with the strike. That's a great save from Redmayne. That's a really good save. Because that was going in for sure. Got down to his left well. Halftime not too far away. Make sure in the chat for halftime. We're going to talk about A-League expansion. We'll talk the Socceroos friendlies next week. And any questions you guys have, we'd love to jump into it. So halftime not too far away. About 5 minutes or so. I'm going to jump into it. Stream has been going for an hour now. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning into this Sydney Derby watch along. If you are enjoying, make sure you hit the like button. Appreciate it a lot. Sydney FC bossing possession and passes in this first half. These two early goals for Wanderers are the difference at the moment. This is a key. This is a key halftime talk here for Steve Corica. If Sydney really want to challenge this season and be a threat in the finals, they have to. This is like, I tell you what, a big game like this is like a simulation of a finals game for Sydney FC. Max in behind here. Can he create something? Robert Mack. Is that Caceres? It's wide. This is a simulation of a finals game for Sydney FC. This is Steve Corica's chance to show us what his team can do when their backs are against the wall like this. Can they fight back against quality opposition? They've got good players on the field. Sydney FC have good players on the field. They've got some youngsters on the bench who could make an impact too. I mean, we'd love to see Segicic brought on, Patrick Wood. Jaden Kaczarski's there as well. There's youngsters on the bench. A little bit more experience, you'd probably have to say on the Wanderers bench. I mean, Ollie Bozanic can come on. Sydney down the left. Here we go. Joel King now. Chips it in. Headed away. How many times have we seen that this half? Over a dozen crosses in this first half for Sydney FC. Just about all of them headed away to safety. That's a nice pass inside. Mack has seen a lot of the ball, but hasn't really had a chance to take on players and have a go at the defense. Wanderers dealing with it so far, man. Ooh, big one from Lockie. Do you talking about Nani? Obviously the biggest name in the A-League this season. Do you know what's happening with Nani? Do you think he's returning? On his Insta, he's been to Manchester, Lisbon, Venice, and Barcelona. Do I think that he is returning? I mean, it's hard because I want to say yes, but just the way marquees have gone in the A-League recently with Charlie Austin, with Daniel Sturridge, I mean, none of them have really worked out. I'd love to see Nani stick around, man. Like, hopefully, fingers crossed he sticks around, man. Not just for Melbourne Victory's sake, but for the sake of the league. But look, that was one of the catalysts for the downfall of Melbourne Victory. It's not the sole reason for Melbourne Victory's poor season, but it definitely contributed. Losing your star player like that, the confidence would have dropped in the team. You know, I really believe that. 3 minutes of added time. In just about a minute, we're going to jump into some halftime chat. Let's talk all things A-League, talk all things Socceroos. Plenty has been going on as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. But this is a huge advantage for Wanderers to take into halftime. And then it's just a matter of just controlling the game from here on. I mean, Marco Rudan knows Sydney FC are going to come at them in the second half because they have to, obviously. Simmons, good run forward. Could they get a late goal here in the first half for Western Sydney Wanderers? Yangi, still there. Simmons, Aiden Simmons, the youngster from right back with a chance. 8 shots a goal each. There you go. I wouldn't have said 8 shots for Sydney, but I guess they've accumulated them over the course of the half. That's half time. Half time here. Sydney FC 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 2. Fantastic half for Western Sydney Wanderers, who have defended well and taken their opportunities when they've come. Sydney FC have been exposed to the back. Oh, person in the chat. Let's talk. Let's talk in the chat. What are we saying? How are we feeling about things? Are you a fan of the A-League All-Stars game versus European Giants? I've seen some people complain about it. Yes, I am. Yeah. I haven't seen many people complain about it. I think it's great. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a bit of fun, you know. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of a chance for maybe football fans in Australia who aren't as invested in the A-League. It's a chance for them to see what the quality that the A-League has. You know, the best players in the A-League. I mean, we saw it last year when All-Stars took on Barcelona and really took the game to them. You know, so I think it's great. The A-League All-Stars is great, and we've heard there's been a talk around on social media that Bayern Munich could be the European Giants coming over to Australia to take on the All-Stars following the conclusion of this season. Which would be awesome. Right? Massive team, Bayern Munich. Definitely want to reiterate my point before. Sydney FC, chance for them to show us what they're made of in a situation like this. As I said before, it's sort of like this is a simulation of a finals game for them. It's a big game. If they, if they're playing an elimination final, maybe against someone like West Sydney Wanderers, what are they going to do if they're down 2-0? You know, have they got the players? Have they got the personnel? Have they got the tactics to work their way back into the game? I don't know. I can't see Sydney FC winning this game or even drawing this game, to be honest. No worries, man. Fortnite? No worries. No need to apologize. Here we go. Do you think the reasoning for the A-League pushing for more expansion teams was also the push of the second division? Also, how good would it be to have Northern Fury, Gold Coast United back? Interesting point. I mean, maybe. I never thought of that. I never thought of it that way when I saw the expansion news. I just because I think we knew that was going to happen. I think there was talk that sometime this year we were going to hear something about expansion. So I don't think it's that surprising. So I mean, like maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Would love to see a second team in Queensland. They've spoken about how the fact that team 13 and 14 will probably be Canberra and Auckland, and they've said there's 11 other candidates for teams 15, 16 who are joining the season after. I mean, second Queensland team has got to be in there, right? Second Queensland team, get a derby for Brisbane, reignite football back up there in the Sunshine State, whether that's Gold Coast, whether that's the second Brisbane team, whether it's North Queensland Fury. I think Gold Coast United looks like the most likely option, and would be great. That'd be a cool little away day for fans. Gold Coast, that'd be fun. And then the other one I think I'd love to see Tasmania. I think I'd love to see Tasmania. Some people talk about like a second team in Adelaide and Perth, which I think could happen soon as well. But I think Tasmania, man. I think that makes sense. Pumpkin asks, do you think there's a potential for another bust up at the end of the game between Corica and Rudin? Yeah, of course. I mean, all right. There's always, I mean, we'll see what depends on what the result is. But yeah, man. I mean, we saw it last time. Yeah. Tyler in the chat says, can't wait to see Koala and Aaron Kunda up front for the Socceroos. One day, man. That could be the Socceroos front too in a few years' time. Yeah, damn, Nani enjoying life outside of the A League. He's been in Europe just loving life all throughout Feb. That's right. It's sort of disappointing too. It would have been nice to see him stick around, even in an off-field capacity, helping his team, helping some of the younger players, guide them through what is a difficult season. But yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing to see Nani not sticking around at the moment. I'm all with you, Fortnite, here with this comment. It says it's actually cool seeing Auckland and Canberra. Don't know why people are against it. Sick of tired of Melbourne Sydney teams. Yeah, I mean we were never going to get another Melbourne Sydney team for this next expansion. 3 is enough for now for both cities. So yeah, I haven't seen anyone complain about Canberra. I think it makes sense. There's already a women's team there. So I have seen some people confused about Auckland, but I like it. I like Auckland. It's the biggest city across Australia and New Zealand that doesn't have an A-League team. It's also a great chance for a derby in New Zealand. There's positives. And look, if this competition is going to be an Australian New Zealand competition, then why not have at least a couple teams in New Zealand? I think it's a good thing. I see some people talk about Wollongong for expansion. I'd love Wollongong competition, but we already have. Here's the thing, right? We already have 5 New South Wales teams. I mean, imagine if before having a team in Tasmania or like a second Queensland team, second Western Australia team, wherever. I mean, Wollongong would be great, but that would be 6 New South Wales teams. And the only thing that like bothers me about the NRL, like I love the NRL and I do watch a bit of rugby league, is that it's a competition that's like played in like 3 or 4 states and another country. But there's no South Australian team, there's no Western Australian team, there's no Tasmanian team, there's one team in Victoria. Like most of the teams are in one state. What I love about the A-League is it really feels like a national competition where it's reasonably balanced everywhere. Reasonably, it's not perfect at the moment, but yeah, I think they're being really smart. Whether we're tapping into new markets in Canberra and in Auckland, it's cool. Interesting one from Person here in the chat says, when compared to teams like Korea, Japan, and maybe Saudi Arabia, Socceroos don't play as nice football. I assume you mean like as attractive football, or beautiful football. Do you think this is due to the manager or player quality? I mean, Graham Arnold is a very pragmatic coach and always has been. And look, it worked at the World Cup. I'm always someone who I'm not too fussed about the appeal of the visual appeal of the football. As long as we're getting results. I mean, some people might feel a different way, but as long as we're getting results, if it's working. I'm not saying that the Socceroos don't play in a nice way. We had some great pieces of play in the World Cup last year. So, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting thing though, comparing Socceroos to those big nations, those big Asian nations who are right up there in the top of Asian football. Fortnite asks, what are your thoughts on Adelaide this season? Have been fantastic, and the last few weeks have been superb, tearing it up. And we were talking about it a bit earlier in terms of Adelaide United and like, could they go all the way? And like, the answer is absolutely yes. I mean, they're one of the few sides to beat Melbourne City this season. They're tearing it up at the moment. Tearing it up, Adelaide. I think they'll be their grand final day if they keep playing the way they are. For me, they have the best player in the competition in Craig Goodwin, for sure. What do you guys think in the chat? Adelaide, yeah? Will Adelaide be in the grand final? Or am I crazy? Am I crazy? Adelaide in the grand final for me. This is an interesting one. coming back to expansion and second division, I know that it would never happen, but I think the second set of expansion teams could be chosen from the winners of the second division for the first 2 seasons. I see what you're saying, and I have seen other people suggest similar things. I have questions in terms of how the second division and the A League, the actual relationship there. I think like rightly so, fans are really excited about that and like saying like, oh yeah, we'd like to do a promotion thing, get promoted into the league, and that's how we can fill it up to 16 teams. I don't know, man. I mean, like the clubs that are playing in the national second division just aren't at the same level in terms of like infrastructure and finances and all that. They obviously aren't at the same level as these A-League juggernauts. I don't know how it's going to work out, just logistically. I don't know. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I'm not saying I don't like the idea of it, but yeah, could be interesting. Barry, who's clearly an Adelaide fan, says yes all the way to Adelaide reaching the grand final. Yes, Fortnite. I agree with this. Dorigo has, he says Dorigo has really shocked me this season. Has been crazy good. Indeed. He's probably been one of the more underrated players this season. Louis Dorigo's been great. He's been great. He played as an attacking midfielder last night, didn't he? But especially with one day obviously out this season, Dorigo stepped up and he's been very good. He's a young player with still a lot of potential, and very, very good as well. Very, very good. They've had a lot of players, Adelaide, who've really sort of taken their game to the next level. Dorigo, I think Lockie Barr's been very good. Ryan Kiddo is very consistent. Obviously, don't have to talk about Aaron Kunda. Zach Clough has been quite good as well, I think. He's had some good games. Funnily enough, like Ibasuki's been pretty quiet. I think Yavi Lopez, a little quiet as well. Maybe you're not having as dominant the season as last time around. But yeah, man, Adelaide United terrify me. They scare me, man. Like if my Mariners, if I want to avoid anyone in the final series, even including Melbourne City, I can't want to avoid Adelaide. I mean, maybe that's just because Adelaide knocked out Mariners last time around as well. Scary team, Adelaide United. Scary team. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is. Like this is an interesting point here. Person 1201 in the chat says, I'm excited about the National Second Division, but also worried because I don't know how it'll work financially, considering the travel costs and the fact that these teams will need to get crowds much larger than they get now. To be fair, some of them aren't too far off with the way the A-League's looking now. Not too far off with the crowds. Yeah, like, I'm just curious to see how it's going to work. I don't think we're going to see promotion and relegation for a little while. I think we need the National Second Division just to run for a bit, see how it works, see how it operates, then go from there. Love this name, Yeet Master 2349. Shout out for the Yeet Master. You have the best name in the chat so far tonight. You win. What are your thoughts on West United? Interesting team because overall they've underperformed this season. Reigning champions. They're not in the top 6. They haven't been for much of the season. Disappointing loss to Brisbane today. They have played quite well at times, but overall, this has been really disappointing. They've locked down John Aloisi, which I think is a good move, and I think they'll bounce back next year. But yeah, man, it's been worrying, considering where Western were last year. That was so dominant. Yeah. 123 in the chat says MacArthur deserved the wooden spoon. I don't think they've ever been that bad. They're not playing well at the moment. I don't think they've been that bad. They've just been really inconsistent. Victory did deserve the spin. Melbourne Victory deserves the spin. Jaden Kaczynski's coming on. We're about to return for the second half. Jaden Kaczynski is coming on the field. Is Steve Corica playing young players? What is this? Is he trusting in youth? He's seen it work at he's seen it work at Adelaide, the Mariners. Looks like it might happen. Teams returning to the field for the second half. It's Sydney FC 0. West Sydney Wanderers 2. Score predictions. Drop them in the chat right now. How will the score end at full time? Let me know. But it looks like Jaden Kaczynski is going to be entering the field of play for the second half. Here we go. Kickoff in the second half, about to get underway. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Second half is underway. Sydney FC 0, Wanderers 2. What have the Sky Blues got? What is Corica going to do? Where is Jaden Kaczynski? He looks like he's on the right wing. I think Joel King's come off the field. I think Joel King's off. Caballo's at left back. Lolly's on the left wing. Max still through the middle. So it's a reshuffle for Sydney. A few players changing positions. And it's their second sub of the game. Oh, interesting one from person in the chat. Should Lawrence Thomas have gotten the call up instead of Gauchi? Thomas was probably next in line, to be fair. It's a fair shout. I'm happy with Gauchi getting selected. He's been great for Adelaide. And he's younger. It'll be a good experience for him. Fortnite says, did you hear the rumor that Popovich has been sacked and won't continue next season? Who do you think will replace him? If he is sacked, maybe Tale. We're talking about it before. If Tale could replace him, I could certainly see that happening. But I think he'll stick around. Long ball, I like it. Ooh, Thomas had to be up for that one. A third goal for Wanderers seals it. It's as simple as that. Third goal for Wanderers seals it for me. Sydney FC. Simmons has missed that header and Lolly's in behind. Couldn't find a teammate. Caballo on the left. Sydney FC trying to find the way through. Passes to no one. Oh. Can't up. Man. Sydney FC is frustrating to watch sometimes. Oh, mate. James in the chat. How's it going? Thoughts on Phoenix this season? Overall, pretty good. Yeah, really good. I mean, they got maybe the best striker in the competition in Oscar Zavada. Recruits have been fantastic. Krayev is superb. Yet Sass has been really good the last month or so. Yeah, they feel like they should be high on a ladder, but they keep losing games here and there, which are costing them. Last night was a tough one to take for Wellington. This is Kaczynski. Traore with a block. Ooh, Simmons sliding in. Pretty bright start for Sydney FC. Jaden Kaczynski trying to get his team back into this game. Second corner of the game for Sydney FC. Here we go. Phoenix, they'll be playing finals though for sure. Max corner. Decent. Headed away. Still on for Sydney. Still on. Decent pass. Mac. That'll be a goal kick for sure. Well done, Amalfitano. Great stuff. James also says, unpopular opinion, Phoenix is the best recruitment in the league. This season has been fantastic. It's been great. I can't. Maybe aside from Western Sydney Wanderers, I think probably Western Sydney Wanderers have had the best recruitment this season. Almost all of their imports have just been superb. Amalfitano, Borello, Liuni, Marcelo, Gabriel Clerc, Lawrence Thomas. I mean, all these guys have been superb, right? Second line, probably Wellington, though. Just their ability to find Ilfuk Talay seems to be really precise with the players he brings in. Chance for Sydney. Lolly. Surely. What a chance. Wanderers starting to look a little bit shaky at the back. Bratton. Kucharski. Left foot strike. Wanderers to clear. My stream is just past the 50-minute mark. Exactly. Wow. Barry, thanks for reminding me. Did you make a halftime cup of tea? Did not make a halftime cup of tea. That is partly because my kitchen's on the other side of the house from where I am right now. For those that don't know, if you're new to the Coast Watch Football live streams, we're going to come back to that because Sydney FC have almost scored here. Forget about it. It's foul. Anyway, Coast Watch Football, we usually make a cup of tea at halftime. That's because my kitchen was right next to my studio setup. I'm in a new place now, and my kitchen is like about 10 meters. No, not 10 meters, like 8 meters that way. I don't know. So no halftime cup of tea tonight. James says, I bet you're stoked with the Mariners this season. Overall, yeah. It hasn't been the best of. I mean, it's been a successful season so far. I mean, we're in the top 6, which is already fantastic. Already pushing above people's expectations. It hasn't been amazing, but yeah, overall pretty happy. Dude, something just got thrown on the pitch there. Redmayne just took his. Lawrence Thomas just took his goal kick, and like a stick or something just got thrown on. Fortnite says, worried for Adelaide next season. Every time we have a good season, score gets completely cleared out following season. I think a lot of those players will stay this time around. I mean, Aaron Kunda would probably go. Dorigo might go. But Goodwin should stay. Clough should stay. Isaias probably has another season in him. Yeah. Thoughts on the Sale transfer? It is an interesting one. It's a really fascinating one. I mean, for those that don't know, Ollie Sale moving from Wellington to Perth Glory. Great pickup for Glory. A player who people thought might have had a chance in Europe, especially on his form last season. Chance for Alex Paulson to step up. And to follow that, there you go. James also asks, and who do you think will come in? I think Marinovic, chapter 2, definitely could happen. Stefan Marinovic has played at Wellington earlier in his career. I'd love to see Alex Paulson given the run, man. I mean, we saw Paulson in the Cup last year, a little bit in the league when Sale was injured. Great keeper, Alex Paulson. We're going to come back to that. Here comes Liuni for Wanderers. Liuni. He missed his shot. Yangi's appealing for a foul in the box. And there's a player down the middle. Who's that? Is that Amalfitano? Amalfitano's down in the middle of the park. Gee whiz. Person says, are you worried about Qual's not so amazing time at Hearts? This has been the topic of conversation for many Australian football fans of late, and I don't buy into it. I mean, he's so young, and maybe he's not playing. I mean, to be honest, I'm not watching every Hearts game. I'm not watching Qual play week in, week out. So I can't really comment on it. And that's the thing too. I mean, I feel like people hear about it, but maybe aren't actually watching the full thing. And that's why I don't really comment on it, because I'm not actually seeing what's going on. I'm not worried about it because he's so young and it's got so much. Still got so much potential. Just because he has an off few months or so, he's got so much potential ahead of him. So I don't think it's as concerning as it is as people make it out to be. William says, not watching the game. How did the pitch turn out after the NRL there last night? Looks a little bit choppy here and there, but overall pretty good. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's Allianz Stadium. It's the new Allianz Stadium. It's one of the best grounds in the competition. You can see a little bit here and there, but overall it's all right. What do you think about Noah Botic? He's been great. He's been great this season. Handful of goals and called up to the recent to the upcoming under 23 squad, right? A lot of potential. A lot of potential. Oh, Foggy. Don't make me choose Foggy. Garen Kowal on Nestori and Aaron Kunda. I mean, look, I'm a Mariners fan. I'm going to say Garen Kowal. He's been fantastic for the Mariners. He was fantastic for the Mariners in the last year or so. But Aaron Kunda is catching up big time. But let's just be thankful that we have two fantastic and extremely talented young players coming through. Ooh. Thoughts on a 48-team World Cup? Here's my hot take. I actually really like it. I like it. I think it's great. Again, I think there's a sense to sort of like people like to freak out, but I think it's just that's just the thing with change in football. I think if we're not used to something, you sort of freak out about the idea of the change. I think it's gonna be great. More teams in the competition, make it an even bigger festival of football. Barello in the box, Retro's there to deal with it. Wanderers trying to sneak in for a third goal. I actually like it. I like it. All we need is a good number 9. Maybe Noah Botic could be that man in years to come. Maybe. Do you think the youth teams for Australia are much better now than the past? There's a lot of excitement around the youth teams, the Australian teams, because there's a lot of really exciting players and a lot of A-League based players too. Are they better? I don't know if I would go out to say yes, they're absolutely better. But there's some really talented players in those squads. Yeah. James also agrees with the 48-team World Cup. There we go. Fortnite says thoughts on 17-year-old Jovanovic. Adelaide, 2 goals in 2 games scored. Scored a ton in the Adelaide youth last season. He's been all right. One of those players who's taken his opportunity. Scores last week away to Newcastle. Scores last night at home to Wellington. Another good young player coming through for the ranks of Adelaide. Great to see. We are slowly approaching the hour mark. In the Sydney derby, it's Sydney FC 0, Wanderers 2. Malfitano to take this free kick. Dangerous position. Redman should take, and he does. The Cove and the RBB making plenty of noise all night. Love to see it. Barry says, at least the World Cup is in USA. Yep, so the games will be at like midday for us, not 4 a.m. I know, right? Massive win. Massive win for Australian football fans. That'll be interesting. Like midday. Feels like a weird time to be celebrating football. No, sorry, not that I can't celebrate football at midday. You know what I mean? Used to watching games at night time or early hours in the morning. Here comes Leone for Wanderers, cutting in. Off target. Too much power. Needed a bit more finesse on that. Leone. Amor Layuni. Thanks so much, guys, for jumping in this live stream too. Appreciate it. Still got half an hour to go in this derby. Plenty can happen. Hit like on the stream if you're having a good time. I appreciate it. We've got some Socceroos content coming up next week, so keep an eye out for that. Can Sydney work their way back into this game? That is the question we are asking ourselves at this present moment in time. They were very good. Adrian Segacic, Jed Drew really impressed me at the Under-20 Asian Cups this time. They were great. There was plenty of Australian players who had good performances in those games, especially in that obviously that 9-1 result. Retro strike deflected. Sydney FC corner. James says, can't wait for Chris Wood to lift the World Cup. Marquee for Auckland City, 2024. Just make it happen. Good delivery. Jeez, that was a dangerous corner for Sydney. Cross in. Caballo. So we're just past the hour mark here, just past the 60th minute. Sydney FC still yet to find the back of the net. Thoughts on the Auckland situation? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before. I love it. Really excited about it. If you guys want to hear my full thoughts, I did a video on it a few days ago on the channel, talking about the Canberra and Auckland expansion. Long story short, love it. I love the two selections of Canberra and Auckland. I think that make a lot of sense. And really excited about the prospect of a New Zealand derby. That's for sure. Foggy asks, after Canberra and Auckland, do you think the A-League needs to expand more? Well, we have been told they will. 15 and 16th teams added in the following season. And for me, the two that I would go for, Tasmania and Gold Coast. Tasmania, second Queensland team. Let's make it happen. Those are my two picks for sure. But we've heard there's 11 candidates still in the running. It's a lot. It's a lot. Wanderers coming forward here. Neuenhoff strikes. Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Callum Neuenhoff with a belter. Oh, that's 3 points. That's 3 goals, and that's 3 points for Western Sydney. Oh my God, what a goal! Against his former team. Callum Neuenhoff, look at this. Ninkovic with the assist, just teed it up. That's too easy, dude. Retray just lazy chasing. And Neuenhoff has slammed it into the back of the net. What a hit. What a player. This kid's fantastic, Callum Neuenhoff. Future Socceroo. That's a great goal, man. That's a great goal. Barry says, damn, what a strike. Speaking of future Socceroo, Tan says Callum Neuenhoff should get a call up. Damn, man. What a goal. 3-0. That's game, man. That's game. There you go. The stat on the broadcast: 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games for Callum Neuenhoff. He's been on fire. Superb. And it looks like they're collecting, what is that, sticks thrown onto the pitch in front of the Cove? There's something been thrown onto the pitch. There was a staff member just collecting them from the pitch just there. 3-0. 3-0. Sydney FC, mountain to climb. I used to work with the Mariners, not anymore. Stepped down from my role at the Mariners last year. Had a great experience there. Just doing my own thing now. That's right. Person says, "Who needs Schneidlin when you have Callum?" Ray says, "Redmayne looks very angry at his defenders, and rightfully so. I mean that there was no urgency from Paolo Radre to block any sort of shot. Maybe Sydney should have kept Neuenhoff and gotten rid of Radre." He's been fantastic this season, Callum Neuenhoff. Absolutely superb. RBB, look at him, man. Making plenty of noise. Look, the only to Sydney SC's advantage or credit, or to give them a glimmer of hope, I should say, there's still plenty of time left. There is time to score 3 goals. Will it happen? No, it won't happen, but it could. That's all I'm saying. It could. James asks, "Do you think the new team will be Auckland City or a new franchise?" I like the idea of it being Auckland City. Just utilize the club that's already there. Lolly with a long range strike. That's going to go wide. No, it's going to be a corner. Thomas with a save. I would like it to be Auckland City, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a new franchise. Yes. Fortnite says, "Do more teams in the league mean a shorter season due to more games? I'm sick of waiting almost 6 months for the league." Yes, they have said that. Once they get it to corner for Sydney, get it away. Once they get the competition to 16 teams, which is happening by 25, 26, there'll be 30-game season, which is an extra 4 weeks, but it's like an extra month, right? So yeah, longer season, man. It's awesome. That will make sense, Barry. A-League First Division, B-League Second Division. Those names make sense. Ooh, Lolly just wide. Gonna be back in the second. Just gonna fill up the water. Couch Watch. Couch Watch. Welcome back to Couch Watch Football. Couch Stream. Ooh, what are your thoughts on the Sydney Grand Final situation? Look, I don't agree with it. I don't think no one does, right? I'm not as upset as maybe other people are. Here's a chance for Mac. Great chance. He's gone down too easily. Mac he's appealing for a foul, but he's gone down way too easily there for me. Yeah, I don't agree with it. I think it was the wrong decision. I think the grand final setup we had already, where the top team hosts it, is fantastic. It creates a different spectacle each year. So yeah, it's disappointing. That's all I could say. But there's not much we can do, eh? Grant in the box. Grant, great save, Thomas. Great save, Thomas. Great chance for Ryan Grant to pull a goal back. Thomas with the save. That was a great save. Great reflexes. Rare mistake by Adama Traore. Just let it get away from him. Damn, what a chance. Corner here for Sydney again. Ooh, keeper came for it. It's going to be another corner. Do you know when the Asian Cup, when is the Asian Cup? I believe it's January next year. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but I think it's early next year. Can you say hi to me? Hi, HRE. Thanks for jumping in the chat. And I just missed your comment earlier. Love your channel. Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in the chat. If you guys are enjoying, make sure you hit the like button. Helps me out a whole lot. Substitution for Sydney FC, Palaretre, who looks a bit tired, being replaced by Girdwood Reich. Jake Girdwood Reich. Another youngster. Onto the field. Change for Wanderers. Yengi on for Inbikoto. Oh, sorry. Other way around. Inbikoto on for Yengi. Grabbed his goal. Only scores in derbies, Cassini Yengi. Only scores in derbies. The man for the big occasion. Very, very decent replacement in Yenny and Bikoto. Sydney with 15 shots, Wanderers with 11. Good question. Fortnite, he asks, how much time do you think Corica has left? For me, it's simple. So take you back to last season. Sydney missed out on finals. I thought Sydney should have gotten rid of Corica after last season. They got knocked out of the group stage in the Champions League, and they failed to make finals. Sydney FC should have sacked Corica, in my opinion, last year. Stuck with him. I mean, to be fair, he's won grand finals, to his credit. Stuck with him. If Sydney don't make finals this year, for me, he has to go. Like, it's as simple as that. You can't miss finals 2 seasons in a row. I mean, they've returned to Allianz Stadium, their traditional home, Sydney FC. Yeah, it's as simple as that for me. Live ladder on the broadcast. Wanderers go into third place, as they already were, but 3 points clear of the Mariners, 3 points behind Adelaide in second. Sydney stay on 27 points as it stands. Wanderers aiming for this clean sheet now. That's all it's about. Clean sheet. Oh, chance here. Caballo with space. Diego Caballo has he should have shot there. It was, look at those cross stats on the broadcast. 28 crosses for Sydney, just 2 for Wanderers. And which team is winning 3-0? Do you think anyone can finish above Melbourne City? Asks Foggy. It's a good question because Adelaide are closing. Adelaide are closing. I don't know, man. I think Melbourne City will be too strong in the end. I don't think Adelaide will catch them. So I think Melbourne City will still finish on top. But Adelaide could take them to the grand final. That's for sure. Borello, nice ball in behind. Layuni, 4-0. 4-0. Wow, man. 4-0. What a performance from Western Sydney Wanderers. Taking the chances when they've come. It's 4-0. It's Layuni again. Dude, it's too easy for him. Look at this. Another mistake. The pass. He's onside. It's Borello again. Fantastic. He could have passed to him, Bakoto there as well, who just came in out of nowhere. Layuni does it himself, and that's a cool finish. Man, Layuni's fantastic. This Wanderers side, man, is dangerous. Dude, I'm telling you, this final series is going to be insane. Melbourne City, Adelaide United, West Sydney Wanderers, Central Coast Mariners are coming as well. That top four is dangerous, and I think we're a lock, man. I think those four teams, not in that order, but those four teams, man. Damn. Person goes as far to say, is Corica still going to be in the job tomorrow? I think he still will. Look, Sydney FC is still in the top six. We shouldn't forget that. They're still in the top six. But look, this is a big blow for them. This is a big blow. Four 0 man. This is crazy. Oh, nice play. Ruden's gonna love this, man. Ruden's gonna love this. It's gonna be interesting to see the handshake between the two coaches at full time, whether anything will be said. Ball over the top. Neuenhoff looking for Borello. Brandon Borello, dude, could it be 5 for the Wanderers? Borello. That's blocked. Oh, gee whiz. This is a massive scoreline, man. And at the home of Sydney FC too. It's Sydney FC's home. But failed again. Milanovic to come on now for Ninkovic, the former Sydney FC player. Coming off the field, 2 assists tonight. 2 assists for Milos Ninkovic. Superb. For another chat says Sydney still have an insane squad on paper. And they're playing like this. Definitely Corica has to go. They are missing some key players, but you're right. This is still a good squad. But a squad that just isn't performing at the moment. And look, I wonder what the people in charge of Sydney FC are thinking of this now. This isn't the first time that Sydney FC have disappointed in big games. And they're going to lose both their home derbies this season. Both home Sydney derbies are going to lose. But 4-0 at home, man. Be down 4-0 at home. This is a massive, massive defeat for Sydney. There's still plenty of time. Still got about 15 minutes left. Run home for Wanderers after this game. Adelaide, MacArthur, Victory, Wellington City. Some tough games in there, man. They're playing City last up. That'll be interesting. Adelaide next week will be a great game. Obviously, it was 4-4 last time those two teams met. But that'll be a great game. Caceres looking for Mac. Mac with the ball. Lolly. Lolly still. Lawrence with the save. Into the final 10 minutes of this game now. Just past the 80th minute. Sydney FC 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 4. Sydney FC, big test for them to bounce back after this result now. And look, are in real danger of dropping out of the top 6 if some of these teams chasing can catch them. I think they'll still be there in the end. I think Sydney FC might still stink in fifth or sixth. But look, I mean, I don't rate their chances at all in a final series. Sydney FC. This just especially just defensively, man. I mean, they've created some decent chances in attack. Nothing too clear cut. Maybe aside from that Ryan Grant chance, but just the way Wanderers have cut them apart when Wanderers have had their opportunities, it's just been too easy. And this is arguably Sydney's full strength backline: Grant, Rodwell, Wilkinson, Camayo, right? Andrew Redman and goals, a Socceroo. That's an experienced backline. It's a very experienced backline. And they're being sliced apart. Borello on the ball. Malfitano can't find a teammate. It's a matter of just managing the game from here. Great to see. Look, positive for Wanderers fans is that the team hasn't really. I mean, yes, they've sat back. You know, they've defended when they've had to, but when they get the chance to attack, they go for them. They're certainly not parking the bus. Western Sydney Wanderers. Caceres has worked hard this game, man. That's the thing. I mean, Mac, Caceres, these guys have worked hard, but against Western Sydney, you have to be at your best in attack to break them down. That's for sure. Oof. Another change for Sydney FC. He's come too little too late. Segicic to come on, as is Patrick Wood coming on to replace Mac and Lolly. There you go. The two experienced marquee players being replaced by the youngsters to try and just get a consolation here for Sydney FC to try and lessen the reduce the goal difference. It's too late though. Man, this Wanderers side in a final series is going to be so dangerous. I mean, we were talking earlier before about Adelaide United and how dangerous they're going to be in the final series. This Wanderers side, who's going to stop them? Melbourne City. Look at these, dude. The passion that these Wanderers defenders are showing right now. The high fives after every block. They want this clean sheet so bad. Marcelo, the captain, leading his side. Corner for Sydney. And Bakota gets up. Amalfitano heads clear. Bratton hangs it up. Grant's header will go out of play. Oh, he kept it in. He kept it in. Almost a half chance there. And it's Aiden Simmons who's down with cramp. Oh, nice little move there from Caceres. Decent cross. Looks like Jack Rodwell's gone forward. Attendance on the broadcast, 28,922. There you go. Would have hoped for pushing over 30K, but we'll take it. Still a strong crowd. Still one of the biggest crowds of the season, that's for sure. Fantastic stadium down there at Allianz Stadium. Aiden Simmons coming from the field. Had a decent game and right back. Bonatig to replace him. In defense. 86 minutes past now. Can Wanderers grab a fifth? How much left in the game last fortnight? We're now at 86 minutes and 20 seconds. Time has run out for Sydney FC to get anything from this game. Honestly, just for the memes, just for the laughs, just for the scenes, I would love to see Wanderers grab a fifth here, man. We saw Adelaide score 5 last night against Wellington. Wanderers with a resounding result here. Borello's still on the field. Layuni's still there. And Bakoto's fresh off the bench, as is Milanovic. Here's Neuenhoff. Nice passing play. Ooh. Look, I know Schneiderlin's missing for this game, but I almost wouldn't change this Wanderers lineup. I mean, Amalfitano's been fantastic in the center of midfield alongside Neuenhoff. Ninkovic played very well today in attacking mid. No worries, man. No need to apologize. New Jets football in the chat says, "Hey, man. So sorry I'm late. Shame about Newcastle result. We needed that win. Absolutely, Newcastle needed that win and almost had it. Late heartbreak for Jets fans. Oh, here's a chance for Sydney. Great save. The follow-up is saved again. What a chance. Double save from Thomas. And he claims it now. That was a great chance. That was a great chance for Sydney FC to snatch one late. Oh, my goodness. Jack asks an intriguing question. What happened to the A-League? You used to get 50K in Marvel. Now we can't even get 5K at Amy. It's a different time now, to be fair. Different factors, various factors. It's growing. Slowly growing. But it's not a straightforward answer, unfortunately. Oh, interesting call. Barry says, I think the World Cup improved crowds at Coopers. I think crowds have always been reasonably strong at Coopers, haven't they? The new stadium, sorry, not new stadium. The renovations that they did on that far stand looks pretty good too. Hey, increased the capacity a little bit, haven't they? But yeah, maybe that World Cup hype has helped places like Adelaide and Perth Glory a little bit as well. We are about to enter injury time here. It's Sydney 0. West Sydney Wanderers 4. Goals to Yangi, 2 to Layuni, 1 to Neuenhoff. This is Segachich with the delivery. Dealt with. Man. Not much can be said about this performance from Sydney FC. Dude, they're showing. I just feel bad for these fans. They get close ups on the big screen, on the broadcast. They all look so disappointed. And that's been like the story of much of this season for Sydney. Like, yes, they've played well at times, but for much of this campaign, it's been disappointing. Oh, it's lunging tackle there from Milovic. Dangerous. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes for Sydney to find a consolation. 4 minutes for Wanderers to wrap it up with a fifth. But this has been an epic performance from West Sydney Wanderers, taking their chances when they've come. Huge result. Huge result. There you go. Person says, interesting fact. Simmons and Callum were both in the Sydney FC Academy products. Look like Sydney FC can produce talent, but don't know which ones to keep. It really perplexes me how Neuenhoff, Sydney opted not to keep Neuenhoff around. It's a fascinating decision. I mean, just look how well he's doing at West Sydney Wanderers, man. It is pretty bizarre. It is bizarre. Sure is. A few minutes remaining. Bloodwell goes long, looking for Caballo. Offside flag. Dude, this Wanderers defense is going to keep another clean sheet. Best defense in the league, and they've shown it tonight. They've shut out Sydney FC. Guys, thanks so much for watching tonight. A few minutes left in the stream. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already to show support for the channel. Got some Socceroos content coming up next week, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Dude, is that Eddie Bosner in the tunnel with the Wanderers, guys? Looks like Eddie Bosner. We'll keep an eye on the handshake, the full-time handshake between the two coaches. Foggy coming in late saying, will you change anything about the Socceroos squad? I don't think so. I'm glad the boss is in there. Aiden O'Neill's a good choice. Brandon Borello. I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy with it. And good that we can have the chance to celebrate the Socceroos that feature in the World Cup. That's for sure. Absolutely. Oh, ball's kept in here. Here's Patrick Wood. Segachich. Oh, dude, that wasn't too far off. Final minute of the game. Segachich almost rolling it in. Just wide. That would dude, Wanderers defense would have been filthy with that if they conceded a late one like that. Would have been filthy. Imagine if that would have gone in. Oh god, it wasn't far away at all. Just scraped the post. Full time. Full time, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sydney FC 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 4. A resounding result for Western Sydney. One of the most dominant performances we've seen. Rayside says, wow, weird game. Fascinating game too, right? Like, it wasn't a game that Wanderers dominated, but they just took their chances when they came. And for Sydney FC, man, where do they go from there? That's a really gonna really hurt their confidence, Sydney FC. And it's concerning now when you look at how they're going to go heading into the final series. If they do play finals, Sydney FC. Handshake between Corrick and Rudan. Not too much going on there. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you stick around for some Socceroos content next week. My name is Lockie. This is Coachwood Football. See you guys in the next live stream. Have a good night.